of here on YouTube as well as on Instagram. Welcome back to the channel today. Today I wanted to share with you my experience at the DC Frogtails. So if you didn't know, the DC Frogtails is a sewing event, a cocktail party for sewists, and this one was the DC Frogtails. There have been other Frogtail events throughout the world. I believe they had one in Canada. I know Adrienne, she did one in Canada, and I know there have been some in London, Great Britain, and and I know there was one also in Atlanta last summer. So one of the DC Frogtails was created by Naomi Johnson, who she stated that she won tickets to the one in Atlanta and decided to host an event here in the DC area. So she hosted it with Three Little Birds Sewing Co. as well as DH Fabrics Co. And they decided to have a fun cocktail party for sewists in the area. Although there were people who came from Texas as well as from New York that I met there. So people were there from DC, Maryland, Virginia mostly, and then there were a couple people from Texas and New York that came to the event as well. So anyway, the event was held at the Pyramid Atlantic Center in Hyattsville, Maryland, and that's an art gallery, art space, and so it was a really nice venue, and we had a great time. It was so good to see all these different sewists coming together and see all the wonderful outfits. So let me tell you about my dress. So the dress that I made was here it is. McCall's 7317, and I made view D right here, and it is a mock wrap dress, and it has kind of the wrap front right here, and then it's connected here, and then it has a bias cut front skirt, and then just curved hem on the back. So there are only 4 pattern pieces to this pattern. Just the front, the back, the front skirt, and the back skirt. And then the bodice is lined. I self-lined it with the same fabric for the bodice because I didn't want any chance of any lining showing for this dress. I did do a muslin of the bodice, and I had to bring up the sleeves about 1.25 inches because they were very gapey. You can even tell from the pattern picture, like you see how it's sliding off of her shoulder right here, and that is totally what happened when I did the bodice. So I'm glad I actually made a bodice, muslin of the bodice this time. And so I took up 1.25 inches from the sleeves, and then I also took up 2 inches from the hip line because the length and the shorten line was like right around here. So I just brought it up and trued out the curve. So anyway, those are the changes that I made, but it's a very straightforward pattern. The only other change that I did was, other 2 changes was I slip stitched, a hand sewed the hem, and it's a 5/8 inch hem, so I hand sewed the hem all the way around. So that took like a day, a good day to do the whole hem because it's a pretty wide hem, and it's cut on a bias. So I didn't want a big line going around because that's what it calls for, and I didn't think that would look good with the style of this dress. And the other thing that I did is I added an invisible zipper to the back and a hook and eye in it because it calls for a regular zipper, and I had an invisible zipper in this teal color, so I just went with that. So the fabric that I use is a stretch crepe, and I bought this at Metro Textiles in New York City about 2 or 3 years ago when we went on a fabric trip to New York. So I've had this fabric for a while, and I decided to use these colors because they had different categories for prizes at the at the DC Frock Tales, and one of them was best use of color. So I said, well, I want to do something bright to go for the best use of color. So that's why I decided to do these two colors, and these were the most contrasty crepes that I have in my stash, because they're really on the opposite ends of the color spectrum. So I decided to go with these. I really like how they offset each other. So this is like a teal, and this is a coral fruit punchy color. So after I made it, I said, well, it seems like it needs something else. It needs something else. And I said, oh, I need to make a belt. So I decided to, I remember that I read a tutorial in the Sew magazine. So this is the November-December issue of Sew magazine. And Shari Williams, she has a nice tutorial in this issue showing this belt that she made right here. So she made hers very extra large, and she even added the flowers to the purse on the side. And so I said, oh, I can add that flower. I can make a belt as well. So I did try to do the belt. So this is from when I tried to do the belt right here. And I was gonna do the belt with the bow on it. So I was gonna do half the teal, half the punch, and then go around and have the bow right here. But when I was trying to attach the leaves for the flower, they just kept flopping over. And I did add some interfacing, but I didn't have a heavy enough interfacing for it to stand up on its own, because this fabric is pretty lightweight. And so I just kept thinking, I was like, I gotta make this work, because I made all of these flowers. So I said, I'll just put it on. I put it on my dress form, and I started putting it up against the dress form, and I said, I'll just sew it straight up on the dress. So that's what I ended up doing. So I ended up sewing the flowers right onto the dress. And so to make the flowers is really, really easy. So what you do is you find a template of a petal of a leaf, and you cut it out, and then you sew it right side. You can either serge the edges or cut it double, and I cut mine double, and I added interface into the middle. And then you just go around like quilting. So I did it like I moved my needle all the way over to the left, 0.5, 5 spots to the left, and so that I could have it all go around. So I did it 0.5 here, and then I put line my presser foot up to the neck, to the line, and then I did 0.5 in around here. So I did that 4 times, and then you sew the bottom here, and then that's how you get the shape of the petal, and then you just line it up the way that you want it. So I got it to work. I mean, when I was at the party, I noticed one of my flowers was kind of tilting over, and T, who's the president of the ASG, she was there, and she said, just all you have to do is just stitch that last flower together, because I had done it for this side and they all came out perfect, but I had this one flower that kept flopping over, but it was fine. Everybody loved the flower. It looked nice for the day. So that is what I did for my dress. So I did add, so I tacked it down like here and here, and then I tacked it here, and then I tacked these two together. So to make it all lay nicely. So I love how the dress turned out. And so I went with my friend Leah, and so Leah was wearing, she wore a Vogue dress. It was Vogue 9363, and she made hers in a peach crepe as well. So we both had, and hers came from Metro Textiles too. So we both were wearing bright, springy colors. So we had such a wonderful time. I had been having a rough week because I had a death in the family recently. So I was so glad I was able to still go and get out and to get off some tension, because we were out there. We were dancing so much. We had such a good time. So I had some pics of me at the party, as well as I took some pictures on the deck today, because I didn't get any good sunny pictures on the day of the event because it was very rainy, so I didn't get any daytime pictures. But anyway, I went back and took some pictures for you guys, and also did some twirls on the deck, and then I had some pictures at the party. I met so many cool people. I met the Corny Rainbow. I met, who else did I meet? I met Katie Cormett. I met Lisa Wolfolk from Black Women Stitch podcast. And I met a guy, his name was T. He had on the most gorgeous silver sequin suit. And also Naomi, who was one of the coordinators, she had on a gorgeous sequin suit. So sequin suit is on my to-do list. So we all, so here are the pics and everything. My dress in the party, and also I wanted to share with you some of the things we got there at the event. So everyone was given a little cocktail mug with DC Frocktails on it. My little C came off. I don't know how that happened, but we got this little everyone was given one of those cocktail mugs, and we also got a goodie bag as well, and it has everybody got a free pattern. I received the Axel pattern from Megan Nielsen Patterns, and I believe like Leah got the Sutley by Megan Nielsen, and it has little like a little zipper pouch in there. There was a tape measure, a little a fabric, like a fat quarter of fabric, and a lot of different some ribbon and buttons and a zipper from the Fab Scrap. So they had a lot of great sponsors there. And then Thread, pretty Thread, and then a lot of discount codes for area sewing places. We got a little needle book to tell you about different needles that you need to use. What else is in here that we received? A nice big fat seam ripper, little chapstick from Baby Lock, and a little booklet about all the new machines from Baby Lock. And then the rest, I believe, are just a lot of different coupon codes and stuff to different fabric stores. So I totally enjoyed my time there, and I love this little bag that it came in. So that is my review of and my experience at the DC Frocktails. And up next, I'll be working on 2 makes for my Minerva, for the Minerva Crafts, for the Minerva blog, as well as 2 makes for the Black History Month Pattern Designers Challenge. And I'll leave a link to my video explaining more about the challenge. I'm one of the ambassadors for the challenge, and it's celebrating Black History Month. And so I wanted to mention that Shari of My Daily Threads is one of the sponsors for the challenge, and she created this bow tutorial, and she also has the tutorial on her website, My Daily Threads, and I'll leave a link to that below, as well as Sew Magazine is one of the sponsors for the Black History Month Pattern Designers Challenge. So I hope you all get a chance to participate in that challenge as well, and I'll leave links to the Natita So Natural Dane, as well as Myra Lorraine's channels, because they're the hosts of the challenge, and they have more information about the challenge. And I hope you all get a chance to participate. I'll also leave a link to the Instagram DC Frog Tales hashtag, so you can see all the makes on it. I mean, the makes were just so fabulous. Even one person even had made a dress, and she made a matching hat to go with it. So anyway, I just love seeing everybody. It was so great to go out and socialize with some fellow sewists and finally meet a lot of people that I see on Instagram and YouTube in person. So it was just such a pleasure to meet everyone. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day and that you enjoy the rest of your week. Take care. Bye.